whatever the hell you want. Because at the end you're gonna die, so I don't want your ass no more. The Most High, the creator of the universe, doesn't want you, man. That's some heavy shit, bro. This is basically what Pay assume, right? Pay's perspective is that say that you find your dad, say you haven't found your dad in years, you finally found it's like I don't want your ass.
Yep.
Fuck with me, I don't want you.
Yep.
That's all it is, bro.
Fair.
Yeah. Read it again.
It says, and even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. It says,
when didn't IUIC say you can have sex with your woman on the Sabbath?
Yep.
That was an IUIC. So what? Since they didn't like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, as in the law system tells you not to go into your woman
Wait, don't
on
they
the
also say
Sabbath.
that Sabbath every Friday and Saturday, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah, Friday,
Yep.
Well, that's a couple camps out there that say that. Like, what's that dude, Camp 2? I think it was IUIC, IS,
UPK,
and
ABC 1, 2, 3.
AOCC or AO.
nah, that one camp, man, from that one camp.
The mermaids.
He taught out there with the mermaid.
The mermaid
He taught out
camp.
there
You know what I'm
with
talking about?
The HOI camp, the We Got Next camp.
Oh yeah, HOI.
Yeah, they teach that shit too.
Man,
But see, that's
I don't really see any other camps besides GMS that teach about the new moons.
there's
Like
like
Adam
a few, but
Adam
there's
Abbott teach that. No, Adam Abbott. They do Friday,
That's
Sunday,
what I'm
or
saying.
Saturday, Sunday.
They
Yeah.
teach that shit.
because I ultimately,
They
man,
dark
that,
counting it, right?
yeah,
I was like, when I seen that title, I said, dark counting it.
that's
I
what they
said,
changed their
y'all
name to.
Crazy as hell.
Dark counting it.
It was dark counting it. Now it's gone. I don't know where it's at.
Wow.
Well,
I think
Adam
so.
did
Yeah,
that?
Adam Abbott. Yeah,
Wow.
they did dark counting it, and they put HOI on their shit too. So they do their videos and Zabak videos on that dark counting. But they took that shit down. Now I don't know where it's at. I don't know if they did.
Because the spirit was speaking. But
Well, they called themselves
dark
countenance.
countenance.
How dumb could you be to put a name like that?
Yeah.
You obviously didn't read Isaiah 6.
They did it, bro. They did it. But like Jake will sit here and they'll sit here and say, like the brother was saying, the reason why the Jews in the other camps, they'll do the shit they do and they get so proud is because the Lord's not chastising.
Yeah.
The brother just read it. It said since they didn't like to retain the Most High in their minds, the Lord gave them up to the reprobate mind. Because here it is, the scriptures tell you not to go into your woman on the Sabbath. The scriptures tell you make not a child of Israel a sodomite. You got ISUPK saying it's okay to do it in the butt. You know? So these people didn't like to retain the Lord in their knowledge. So what? Now look at what they're doing. They're saying take this devil's Maxine waters. They're saying
you can get the chip.
you can get the chip. So what? You know, they're becoming reprobate. They're not able to judge things correctly, man.
Hey, where's any of those things that they're telling you to do? Where's those things that in the scriptures?
Prove all
So
things.
you're not coming out of the scriptures, my
Yeah.
man.
That's the wicked, bro.
Yep.
First, you're getting the Sabbath wrong, man. And next, you're doing something that you think is a Sabbath, fucking a woman.
Yep.
What do you think that's righteous? You're doing something.
Yep.
Our people are just wicked.
Yep.
They're the 2/3. They have some knowledge, bro. And they ain't. They're still a 2/3 and still wicked, bro. Read that back again.
You want to keep going on it?
Yeah.
It says,
Hey, real quick, I got a precept too before you get that. This is Hebrews 5:12. It says for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principle of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat, man. So when you teach Israel, you're supposed to teach them the scriptures, man. So if they're telling you to take the vaccination, you got dudes telling you that it's okay for you to be popping your woman in the butt. And all these other nonsense things they're talking about. Where's this shit at in the scriptures, man? Come on, you know damn well it ain't right for you to be popping your woman in the butt, man.
Why would you?
She be doopy and all.
Yep. She just came out the bathroom, came in the bedroom, like, you ready to do this? Like, that's terrible.
Like, that's nasty, man.
That's nasty as
I
hell.
don't even want to go eat after this.
Why the?
now.
Why, honestly, bro?
She didn't doop doop.
She done doop doop.
You want to go into the doop doop? You pretty much already gay as hell, man. You gay when you do shit like that, man. You dicky doop doop.
Dookie chasers.
Oh, damn.
For something?
Madness. Madness.
For what? Is it because it say it's tighter, bro? The fuck?
I know. It's like,
That's
God damn.
That's crazy.
What's the difference? What's the
That's
difference
stupid
between a
because-
woman's booty hole and a man's? Nothing. That's why the Lord put the kobah there, man.
Right. The woman's privy is a muscle.
Yep.
And a muscle can be loosened, but it can also be tightened.
Yep.
And that's what muscles could do. So, what the fuck you gonna get at?
It's nasty, bro.
Bro.
The doop doop.
Hey,
The doop doop
you
the
want me to
doop.
read all of this? In Romans 1, verse 29, it says, being filled with all unrighteousness.
Being filled with all unrighteousness.
Well, what is unrighteousness, man? Hey, get 1 John 5:17 real quick. Get a precept for that, brother. What is unrighteousness, man? 1 John 5:17.
1 John 5, verse 17. And it reads, all unrighteousness is sin,
What is
man. All unrighteousness is sin.
There you go.
It said, and there is a sin not unto death.
Right, and there's sins that's not unto death, man. And you can go into the scriptures and read about sins that is not unto death and sins that are unto death. Let me get Leviticus 20 and 10. All right, let me get Leviticus 20 and 10. Let's find out what is a sin that is unto death.
Yep.
It's Leviticus 20.
Right, you eating pork isn't a sin that's unto death. It is a sin that will have you cast out from your damn
Yeah, I got
people, though. And that's
yeah, I need your light.
shit. I think that's worse than death, man. Because at least if you die, you die. To be cast out from among your people,
That's a rough one, bro.
that's a rough one, man.
You ain't got no support.
Woo.
that's
20 and
I
10.
think 20 and 10.
Yeah.
If not 20 and 10, 10 and 20. It talks about adultery.
Yeah, it is 20 and 10. It says Leviticus 20 verse 10. It says, and the man that committed adultery with another man's wife,
Right?
even he that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and adulteress shall surely be put to death.
So there you go. That is a sin
Surely.
unto death. You should surely be put to death, man. Come on, man. Give me Leviticus, what is that, 20 and 13?
20 and 13?
Yeah. Let's get an abomination.
It's Leviticus 20 verse 13. It says, if a man lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman,
Right, so you talking about popping a woman in the butt, man. That's like committing homosexual acts.
Yep.
Go ahead.
both of them have committed an abomination.
Right?
They shall surely be put to death, and
Right.
their blood shall be upon them.
Sins unto death. Go ahead.
I got one real quick.
Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 23 and 17. You're good. You're
No,
good. You're fine.
good. You pass one.
Deuteronomy 23 and 17. It says, there shall be no whore of the daughter of Israel, nor sodomite of the sons of Israel. So whether or not you're getting it or you're taking it, you're being a sodomite.
Hey,
Playing
that brings
sodomy
forth,
role.
that's bringing forth diseases and shit like
Yep.
that. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
That's
So
how you get syphilis, herpes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the doodle dick and shit.
That
Well, really, you get shit that's deadly. You know what I mean? From going in the rectum.
It's a
Gonorrhea.
fucking fetus. I mean fetus. It's feces.
Feces.
That's that fetus. It's feces,
Yep.
man.
Yep.
Yeah,
You do.
You wouldn't
in the
pick
toilet.
up. You wouldn't reach into the toilet and grab your own doo doo,
You
but you'll
might-
sit here and
right.
throw your stuff into something.
Yes, you might as well throw your dick in the toilet.
like the brother said, that's why the vagina was created, man, for sexual purposes and to bring forth children. You know what I mean? But the rectum is an exit only, man. It's not. And what they try to do too, if y'all notice, when you turn like 40 or some shit, you got to get a prostate check and all that, or they'll try to clean out your colon. And they'll stick like this. The dude told me, he said, man, I got my colon cleaned out, and they stick this fucking thing.
Yeah, big ass camera.
Yeah, and he was like, where'd that go? And he was like, in your ass. He
Yeah,
was
that's why they
like,
put you to sleep for that shit.
Nah, he didn't. They put some lube on it, and they did him dirty,
That's
man.
terrible.
You know what I mean?
That's terrible.
Yo,
Yeah.
Then you
And I
gonna
was-
have that weird ass sexual fucking
But-
doctor spitting on it and shit.
But if you think about it,
Damn, that's
fucking-
that's Esau's way of doing shit. You know what I mean? It's herbs and things you could take to clean out your colon if
Yep.
you really wanted your colon to be cleaned out.
Yep.
You know?
Moringa,
shy out.
Yeah.
moringa, psyllium husk. That shit you can take to clear it all out,
So
bro.
you know, playing with your ass is not, or playing with somebody else's ass is not.
Hey, give me what is that?
Hey, right.
Hebrews, you know what I want? Hebrews 12:16.
Oh yeah.
And get that meaning of profaned.
Hebrews 12:16. And real quick, my sister's a nurse, man, and she tried to tell me to go do that shit.
Wow.
Mother living mind.
Motherfucking mind.
Yeah, fuck.
It
Uh-huh.
ain't nothing going up there.
It's
The
just-
only thing is coming out.
If
That's
you
it.
hated me, you should have just told me. That's what I would have said.
Right,
If you hated me, just
me,
tell me. There's easier ways to say you hate me.
Just admit it.
No, because doctors be playing with you too, man. Like Dr. Oz, they have a saying. It was like they have a weird ass saying, man, that's off as fuck. They be playing with you, man. You know what I mean? They get a kick out of going in your ass, man.
Yeah.
Or demasculating you. You know,
Yep.
so
This is Hebrews 12:16. It says, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright."
Right,
So let
get
me
that
go.
word profane.
Go to the word profane
Yeah.
in the blue letter, and it's G 952. It says Babelos.
Hey, get Habakkuk 2:4.
Bebelas. And it says accessible, lawful to be trodden. It says
Lawful to be trodden. It's
Man.
lawful to stump you devils out when the Lord gives the judgment, man.
It says profane, unhallowed, common, public place of men ungodly.
Ugh.
It says
Ungodly ass devil.
it's a little bit more. It says implication. It says heathenish, wicked.
Ugh.
You see what I'm saying?
It says heathenish, man.
Heathenish. I don't
Wicked.
even. Come on, bro. Yeah, man.
Go ahead and get that
That's terrible.
Habakkuk 2:4.
Come.
That is fucking awful.
Habakkuk 2.
Hey, this is what you get out of Esau
Oh, he
Edom,
hold-
man.
no.
This is what you get out of the so-called
I
white
got
man.
it.
He's
I'm right
wicked.
here.
He loved doing profane things. He loved doing things that is unholy, man. Because this is the type of spirit, the soul that is within this devil, man. Hey, the scripture says, "For I have given the earth unto the hands of the wicked." Who was the wicked, man? Esau Edom, Malachi 1:4. That's right. You know, he loved doing everything that is outside of righteousness because he's been set up to only commit wickedness, not righteousness. Go ahead.
You want me to go to verse 4? Just jump to the point. Habakkuk 2:4. It says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him."
Right, so his soul which is lifted up is not all right in him. So this devil is not going to have anything good for you, man. Anything that he set up is not good for you. You go to his hospitals, yes, he can probably pop your bone back in place or whatever, or put some needles and pins all up in you and all that nonsense. But look, man, how many people come out of them hospitals dead instead of alive? Right, come on, man.
Shit,
They'll
my
never
old
let that statistic go out. They'll never
Might as well
let that one
just
out.
be dead because I paid that expensive ass bill for that night, bro.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
That shit gonna be like $200,000.
Yep.
For one night stay.
Just kill me now.
That bill ain't never getting paid.
Nope. Waiting for that day to fall off your credit and shit.
Right, go ahead and pass that shit to collections.
hey, you know what I think though? I think they put you in debt so you go on forever.
Yeah, that's what they did.
You know,
That's
so
the whole.
go on forever
Oh,
because
God.
that's what I see nowadays. Like a 30-year loan on a house, that's goddamn. You know what I mean? I was looking at it like
30 years, and by the
30
time
years.
you be able to get a house, you're like 28,
Yeah, you like
30.
Hell no, 30 years. That's like okay, you know, like hell no, and then with interest, like nah. So I think they loan and it's other people money that banks use.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not even the money at the bank. It's their money. I mean, it's your money. So if you deposit 10,000 into a bank and try to take it out, 10 minutes later, there's gonna be some you ain't gonna be able to, or they're gonna give you every excuse on why you can't, or make it real hard for you to do so, because they
And that's-
use.
Real quick, Salaki, that's why if you look at when the stocks start dropping, that's the reason why a lot of rich people want to start pulling out of the stocks. They want to start pulling out of the banks because their money is affected when that shit happens, man.
Yeah.
Their money is affected. The only reason why, you know, people who make under, I'm gonna say, let's say $35,000 a year or $43,000 a year, you don't make a lot of money. So a lot of times, people like that are the ones that's taking out loans to get a fucking car, to get a TV, to get this and that. But that shit all accumulates fucking debt.
Yep.
So all that money comes from who? Who have the money to supply banks? Who money is in banks? Who threatened banks the time where the stocks and shit start dropping? The rich, man. Hey, I pull my money out and take that shit overseas. Oh, you want to tax us? I pull my money out and take that shit overseas.
Yep.
And the first thing they do is they jump on a wheelbarrow and be like, nah, don't do that. Look, we can fix this and just tax the poor even.
Yep.
That's how they do that shit. They do that shit, man. They're wicked as all hell.
Yeah,
They keep the poor in debt so the rich can get richer, man. Because what happens, okay, you have a car, right? Let's say your car costs 30 grand. You can't pay that fucking car off,
Hey, get him
right?
James
But you
Bond.
already paid 10 grand on that car. Remind you that. You already paid 10 grand on that car. You done fucking lost your job. Now they come get that car. Now they could get that car when you already paid what you paid. Then they put your ass in debt by taking that shit to collections, and now they affect your fucking credit. But guess what? Let's fix this car up and give it to somebody else.
Yep.
So now they can make double of what they already made off you. They can make off somebody else.
They really make triple. They really make triple because basically you'll buy the car for 30,000 and you'll only end up paying off like 10, and then they'll sell the car for an additional, like say you default on the loan, you're still responsible for the rest of yours, and then they'll sell the car for 15. So they're getting another 20 out of you, and they're getting another 15,000 out of somebody else. So they're
fucked up.
they're killing
That shit
they're
crazy.
killing it.
Fucked up.
Yeah, you'll never be able to win. You said James what?
5-1.
Like,
Go ahead.
it's like it's James 5 verse 1. It says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you."
Yeah.
Let me run it back. This is James 5:1. It says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten."
Your garments are moth-eaten, meaning they're corrupted, man. That means there's a lot of holes in your fabric, bro. You thought you was cut from a good cloth, and right now you're seeing the wealthy class and people that were close to being wealthy are their wealth is eroding, man, at a fast pace. It's crazy.
Hey, that's why. That's another reason why they want to cut the middle class. Because even the middle class, you might want to consider that they have money. They don't really have money.
No.
Because the middle class, a lot of those people, they still work at third-party companies. Though they making $100,000 a year, it only takes you to lose your job, and that's it.
Yeah.
Now you coming from middle class to being poor.
Yep.
Because wealth is passed down.
Yep.
Wealth is not like if you weren't born wealthy, like 8 times out of 10 you're not gonna get wealth.
gonna
Wealth
get
is
there.
passed down. So and like the mob, I was watching a documentary on like the mob real quick, and how they used to do it, how they used to get rich is they used to like get people who gamble. Like one of the ways is like get people who gamble that have a bad gambling problem and loan them some money and pay interest, just like the bank would do.
Yep.
Yeah. Or they'll go buy gas stations and like not pay the tax, so they have cheap ass gas and scoop all the tax money. You know, or they they hide their money with like buying skyscrapers and shit. Like a lot of these buildings and shit like that, this how it's drug money.
Yep.
You know, that's how they clean their money. Like a lot of this shit, that's how they clean their
Your
money.
unions?
Like they'll get get their money, build a skyscraper and let a company rent it out, just like how they do like for apartments. They'll do it for these companies, and that's how they wash their money. Or they'll go buy like a big thing was like laundry mats. Waste management is still a big one. Car lots is a big one, or was a big one.
like that.
Say it again.
All the Federicos and Robertos.
Yeah, all those shit like or Issachar with the cartels, the tire shops and shit like that.
They show you how they wash. There's a show called The Ozarks on Netflix. They show you how they wash money in there, man.
Yeah.
And they show you how they'll keep you from getting your money out in the banks too.
Another show is Gangs of London. I don't know if brother's seen it, But Gangs of London goes into that how they watch their money and shit like that, you know. So like the brother said, it's just keep the poor poor and keep the rich rich, man. Keep the rich wealthy, you know. So and then how did the rich get wealthy? Well, they got wealthy off the backs of Israel, because all of it is ours anyway.
That's why the scriptures tell you the destruction of the poor is their poverty, because the poor is what makes their money keep growing. Because who's the one who's always constantly in need? It's not the rich. The rich can sit back and not buy shit for fucking months.
The Rockefeller dude,
they like the brother was saying, they could definitely keep you into that state of being poor too, because you could sit up there and have your cars or whatever the fuck you have, your house or whatever, but you still making payments on car notes. You know, you're still paying a rental fee for the house or apartment you living in. So there's no way in hell they will ever just, oh, let's give this person a break and you don't have to pay 5 months of your rent. That's never gonna fucking happen.
Nope.
You know, and they put people in situations like this. That's why another thing is that's why people are about to be even in a worse situation when they close this bitch down, man. Because look, they could turn around and close it. Let's say they close it and they keep you in the house, which that's what they're gonna do. They keep your ass in the house, and your rent, the money for the rent that you have to pay, you can't pay. And then they turn around, they open everything back up, and the owner of that house or that apartment may want his rent. Now you fucking 2-3 months behind on rent. You can't pay that shit.
And then you have what is it, the housing committee for every city and stuff. There's a federal housing committee. So when that stuff happens, and say these people get a job and they're able to fucking pay for a different spot, but they hadn't paid the back fees off of the other spot yet, they're not going to let them get into another place.
right? Yeah, and one of the Rockefellers said, "He who has a job has no time to make money, man."
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a quote that one of them had. You know, because what happens is, like the brother was saying, you might make $100 grand or 200 grand or 300 grand, but what are you doing? If you don't have a degree, you're working a lot of hours to make that money.
Yeah.
You know, and if you do got a degree, right, for the majority of the world, if you do got a degree that pays you 6 figures plus, right, it's a lot of debt you have to pay back to schools unless you got a scholarship that you have to pay back to schools before you can even enjoy your money. So you'll be, and it's designed like that, so you'll be 50 years old before you pay off that debt. Now you can start enjoying your money that you worked for, but it took you fucking 40 years. 50 years, they put you on these loans, because I don't even think banks expect you to pay back half of that shit. Like, I know this nigga ain't gonna pay this shit back. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna give him the loan anyway and gain interest off of him. And as soon as he's gonna pay it, we're gonna fuck his credit up so he can't get shit else.
That's why they have
your credit is fucked up. You dead to the world, basically.
They have certain shit to protect them against those losses, man. They have the insurance to protect them against a certain amount of loss.
Yeah.
And they probably put that insurance on each deal they make, man.
Yeah.
So it's not like that. It's like they'll make
11-4.
they'll make money off of the insurance, and then they'll make money off the person. So it's like that's why at one point they had
I got the problem.
I know this brother knows it. What do you call those loans where it's like a high probability they can't afford it?
Say that again.
What do you call those loans where it's like a high probability that they can't afford it? It's like low interest.
You call it
Secondary loans?
No.
You call it
It's what they were doing in 2008 with the housing industry.
It'll come to me, bro. I know what you're talking about. Give me a second. It'll come.
I got a testimony for that shit. Yo, this is I'm my woman, right?
Yep.
Her, they had a house, right? So with that 12-day shit, they literally knock on her parents' door, say you gotta get the fuck out. It's dead ass, bro.
Wow.
They say you gotta get the fuck out because the banks can't pay for that fucking house. So they went to the house like, hey, you gotta get the fuck out of the house.
Subprime loan.
That's some wicked Esau shit, bro.
Yep.
You're paying for a house and you're like, man, you gotta get the fuck out of here.
That's how Esau do, man. And then that's why the brother had the word, man. Subprime loans. Those loans they know have a high probability that they're not going to get it back. So what is the incentive for them to sit here and actually still give out those loans? They'll get the interest and they get insurance for the loss. So it's like they're covered no matter what. They're always going to make money.
These motherfuckers are packaging them subprime loans into another investment product.
Yep. To make money off of it.
So you can trade that bitch on the stock market. You know, that they call those collateralized debt obligations or collateralized mortgage obligations. That also is what played a big part into the whole crash, because all these big banks invested in these collateralized debt obligations, all this money. And when the whole mortgage crisis happened, them people started defaulting on them loans, not paying the banks. Then those collateralized debt obligation securities fucking tanked. So everybody that dumped millions and billions of dollars into that shit lost their money, man.
That's the same thing that's happening now.
It was compounded because they packaged the fucked up debt into more products that they could trade. And so everybody's hands was in that shit and they all lost out.
Yeah.
All of them lost their fucking money.
Yeah. They made movies on that shit.
Right, that's what the whole, what's that guy that bet big against the market and he made all that money. I can't remember the name of the movie, but he placed this bet, man, that he went against the market. He saw it, he dug into the records, he saw all the bad debt that was out there, and he put all his money from his business betting against the market. And so if the market crashed, then he was gonna win big. And he waited patiently and it happened, man. That motherfucker made billions of dollars off of that trade and fucking walked out, man. He saw how faulty it was. I'm gonna think of that movie title. I got that Zephaniah for you. It's Zephaniah 1:18. It says, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath.
Right, so hey, you can make all that money if you want to, you know, and keep Jake in the position that Jake in, which is being in the state of being poor.
Yep.
Which is being in the state of being poor, but at the end of the day, that money is not going to gain you anything. Hey, the scriptures talk about riches that are gained by iniquity and wickedness. Let me get that Proverbs 11:4. Let me get James.
Proverbs 11 verse 4 says,
5:1.
riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness.
Hey, bring that back one more time.
This Proverbs 11:4 says, riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death.
Right.
The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness.
So there you go. Bring that out.
James 5:1 and reads, "Go to now, ye rich men,
Right.
weep and howl for the miseries that shall come upon you."
Right, so miseries is going to come upon the rich. That's why, you know, a few years back you had a bunch of billionaire bankers jumping out of fucking windows, because at the end of the day, they know that the dollar is going to become nothing. They know what's going to be pushed, and they didn't want to live a life like that, man. You know, these Edomites who makes all these billions of dollars, they want the world to stay the way it is. A lot of them don't want some of them don't want the new world order. But the elites, they're going to push that new world order, man. So regardless of the fact, you can jump out of windows all you goddamn want to, but your rich is still not going to profit you, because guess what? Those riches, you jumping out the fucking windows, you still got $1 billion in your bank account. That money's going to go to who? That money's going to go to your kids, man. That money's going to go to your wife. Then they're going to be bankers and shit. You know, they're still going to process and still perform the works that you didn't want to do because you was afraid that the petrol was going to drop. You was afraid that the fiat dollar was going to drop. Well, guess what? It is going to drop. But guess what? Your family members are going to make up for that by taking a hard fight in Egypt. Go ahead, Doc.
Verse 2. Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth.
The riches are what?
Your riches are corrupted.
Your riches are corrupted, man. You get your riches by corruption.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of these things that brothers are talking about, man, is how you get your riches by fucking corruption. By keeping people in debt, man. By keeping people having to constantly pay. No breaks or nothing, man. You gotta expect that, oh, this dude gotta go to college and get put in $200,000-$300,000 in fucking debt just to become this doctor or this lawyer or this judge just to make money. But even though he's making money, he's still paying off debt, man.
Yep.
Because that debt is still gonna be seen or affect your fucking credit. So you still, and it's a fucked up situation, man. This is what he does, man. This is what Esau does. This is the wicked, man. Go ahead, finish that off. God damn, this is ridiculous, man.
Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh at his fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days.
So you have heaped treasure together for the last days, man. You have heaped treasure together for the last day. So go ahead, man. Do what you're doing. Have all your gold down in them long ass banking bunkers and shit. Go ahead and collect all of this shit that you're collecting, because at the end of the day, it's gonna go right back to the Lord's people.
Hey, and even how their school systems are designed too. If you think about it, well, I was thinking about this the other day. How children, I think before you, I think the third grade you started leaving school at 3 o'clock out here, if I'm not mistaken. But before that, you leave school at 2. But they have infants, or not infants, they have kids that are, 4, 5, 6 years old, right, that are already programming them to have a job, you know what I mean, or to obey. Like, and it's crazy because it pushes that, it gives you that slave mentality for the whole Babylonian community, the whole Babylonian rulership, So when really the child is supposed to learn inside the house, when he gets to a certain age, whether it's a male or a female, from the father. If it's a male, for the most part. But what they do, they get your children, they indoctrinate them, right, by putting them in these schools. And then now what they do is they have trainees that go in these schools.
Teaching a fucking school.
Yeah, they have trainees that go in these schools and push the gay shit, right? So everything is set up. Everything is set up from since you're a child, because they normalize shit. That's what they do. Just like how they start normalizing. They normalize backup cameras. Now they got, so it makes it easy. You ain't got to turn around and turn your head and shit like that. Now you got self-driving cars. Just like they normalizing phones and shit like that and wireless earbuds now. So now, or credit cards, getting rid of the dollar, pushing that FRD microchip.
They have credit cards for children now. I saw that shit, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, Chase did that shit. They have credit card for children.
So everything is in a routine. Everything is in that herd sheep mentality to get y'all to follow. What do they call them? Going? What they call the people?
Yeah,
going.
Yeah.
So they trying to, and even with when your child is born with that social security number, they already in debt basically. So that's why it's illegal to commit suicide.
Yep.
Because you don't own you. The Most High owns us, owns Israel. Owns us, and made us, but the pride of Esau, he thinks he owns you, He thinks he owns you from a child all the way up. That's all he wanted to check,
This is the book of Sirach 10 and 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, right? Because who have the kingdom right now? Esau, Edom, the wicked. It says, why is the earth in ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such and one sitteth his own soul to sale. It says, because while he liveth, he casteth away his vials. These devils will sell a fucking soul for the riches that they got, man.
Yeah.
Meaning, by them selling a soul is that they will commit wickedness to get what they want. Right? They don't give a damn if you in a way, you gonna be cut off, man. They will sell human trafficking. Who is that done by? That's done by the cartel. The cartel is set up by who? The so-called white man. All of these things is done by way of the so-called white man, only so he could get riches, like the brother said. How do they clean their fucking money? By cleaning their money in these goddamn buildings, man. Bro. Yep. How is it, think about it, how is America is in as much debt as it's in, but buildings are still being built because these buildings